Certification, in my view, is the savior of the forest products industry.
There's a transformation occurring in America's forests and stores.
We're going to move towards as much certified wood as possible as quickly as we can.
It could save jobs, communities, and the environment.
This truly is a win-win situation.
All the companies that are taking on certification are really harvesting and managing their forests in the most ecologically sensitive ways you can imagine, and they are making money.
At first glance, it seems like any busy office. But this modest suite in Portland, Oregon is actually the nerve center for a peaceful revolution. It's the office of the Certified Forest Products Council, a nonprofit organization that is uniting former adversaries in search of sustainable timber practices.
You had leaders in the environment community and leaders in the forest products industry that really needed a place where they could come together on neutral territory and craft a new way forward. And the Certified Forest Products Council essentially was the table where that deal was cut.
We're trying to create a broad middle ground, and we're trying to use the marketplace as the driver here in a collaborative fashion.
David Ford worked for the timber industry while the infamous spotted owl controversy raged in the Pacific Northwest.
It was us versus the environmentalists, and we really lost that battle. And I guess I learned some lessons from that process and concluded that there had to be a better way to go about trying to work to find some resolution to these issues.
Damaged watersheds and ugly clear-cuts resulted in public demands for better forest management. Like David Ford, Jeff Wortell and environmentalists had grown tired of rhetoric.
I was being advised by others that wood was not an environmental material. And that to me just flies in the face of common sense, because wood has so many valuable environmental attributes. It's fully biodegradable, it's entirely non-toxic, it's totally renewable. So there's a lot of good environmental reasons to use wood.
Jeff and David looked for a way to bring the warring parties together, and they learned about an idea called forest certification.
This is the first tool I saw come along in my 20-plus year career, which I looked at and said, hey, this might change the dynamic of the discussion here.
This spacing looks great. This is a voluntary program with a set of guidelines and a rigorous assessment process.
You guys seem to be doing a good job with it out here.
Larry Nussbaum conducts timber audits for Smartwood, an independent forest certification company.
So you decided to
what we do during a forest management assessment is bring in a team of interdisciplinary experts to look at the various aspects of forest management. So on a team you might have a forester, a wildlife biologist, ecologist, a fishery specialist, depending on the unique circumstance of the site. The idea is that what's left behind after timber harvest is a fully functioning forest.
They also consider working conditions, labor rights, and impacts on local communities or indigenous people.
Our phone's ringing off the hook from folks saying, hey, how do I get involved in this? What do I have to do to get certified and get my products to market?
The guidelines Larry Nussbaum uses for certification were set by the Forest Stewardship Council, an international organization based in Oaxaca, Mexico. An FSC logo on a product means the forest it comes from meets the most stringent worldwide standards blending social, environmental, and economic needs.
And what we want to ensure is that the workers are being treated fairly and the community's interests are really being taken into account. We're really looking at the viability of the company. Are they really shortchanging the local community, the environment, at the expense of some type of short economic return?
The customer, the end user, can really feel confident when they see that FSC trademark on the lumber or whatever product they're buying.
Jay Francis is the forest manager for Collins Pine Corporation, the first FSC certified timber company in the United States.
The overall objective is to leave the stand in better growing condition after we finish our harvesting process than it was when we started.
Collins foresters selectively harvest trees from diversified stands of pine, fir, and cedar. They've been through here several times, but you'd never know it by the looks of the forest.
The trees range in age all the way from 0 all the way up to about 350 years old. We've got some old growth trees on just about every acre of the forest. The trees that we leave provide the seed base.
They also leave snags, logs, and woody debris for wildlife, and they carefully protect watersheds. When Collins bought this forest in 1941, it contained 1.5 billion board feet of wood. Since then, the company has harvested 2 billion board feet. Yet 1.5 billion still remains in the forest. That's brought respect and praise from environmentalists and from other forest product companies.
I am the envy of all my peers being able to work in a forest like this. I feel like I have the best job in the world. I feel extremely blessed to work for a company who not only expects but demands that we take good care of the forest.
Don Hansen feels the same way. He works down the road from Collins Pine for the world's largest supplier of plywood.
I see myself as a logger and an environmentalist. I love the environment enough to where I made it my life's work. And I feel the two are compatible.
Roseburg's California forest is also FSC certified. It wasn't easy because company foresters had used herbicides to restore fire-damaged lands. The certifiers required justification.
They didn't feel that herbicide use was compatible with a lot of their ideas of sustainable forest management. But after looking at the problems, they realized that some prudent and judicious use of herbicide could be tolerated. Good forest management will satisfy almost all of the requirements of certification. So it isn't anything that we have to fear.
Marshall Pecor agrees. As chief forester for the Menominee Indian Tribe of Wisconsin, Pecor has had frequent meetings with certifiers.
I think it's usually a time of lively discussion about new principles, new ideas, ideas that we sometimes thought about that maybe we kind of dragged our feet on. Certification has kind of given us the push to move forward with these things.
Certification is new for the Menominees, but they take pride in 140 years of sustainable forest practices. When timber barons left the rest of Wisconsin's forests in shambles, the Menominees managed their timber so they would always have something to cut.
What Menominee really represents is that you can manage a large resource, take commodities, derive income from it, and still have a pristine-looking forest. Clean air, clean water, spiritual feelings from the forest. And we got more timber now than when we started.
The forest and the Menominee Lumber Mill also provide jobs for many tribal members.
Every year, the value that we get, the dollars and cents that we get from being certified is increasing.
At the annual Menominee Powwow, colorfully dressed dancers wind among beautiful pine trees. Around them, the tribe's certified forest stands tall and pristine.
There's old people come back that have left you and they say, well, you still got a forest, You bet.
In Minnesota, discussions between timber managers and environmentalists have led to widespread certification of public lands.
I would say about 30% of the county land is being certified, and then the next 2 to 3 years, more than half of the land probably will be certified over that time period. Every meeting I go to, certification at the national and local level is an issue, and people are moving towards it. Public agencies are moving toward it.
That's good news to Andy Shaw, the owner of a lumber mill in Canada.
We need the government to stand up and say, we support it.
Shaw sells high-quality certified cedar at premium prices to buyers in the Netherlands and other European countries.
Sharwood's proud to be participating with FSC. It's a challenge, and there have to be changes, there have to be sacrifices. But I think it's something that's here to stay, and we're looking forward to being a part of it.
In the United States, demand for certified forest products received a big boost when Home Depot, one of the world's largest retailers of wood, signed on.
Home Depot sells several $1 million a week of certified wood products in our stores today.
It's part of their wood purchasing policy, which includes wood efficiency and a commitment to stop purchasing timber from endangered regions of the world.
Today, there's not enough certified wood to keep our stores full. But right now, we buy as much certified as we can as it becomes available.
That's been made easier by the Certified Forest Products Council.
They've helped us to show the vendors how certified wood benefits them, not only from an environmental standpoint, but also from a business standpoint. They've spent the time with us working with other nonprofit organizations. They've actually brought customers to us that were looking for either vendors that have certified wood or products that are certified. So they've really done a lot for us as far as helping us to really move the vendor community more towards certification.
Other wood retailers have followed Home Depot's lead, and public agencies are making similar commitments.
We are willing to pay a premium for our environmental values, and I think that's a really important message that we want to give to people, that this is important to us.
Consumers, too, are beginning to ask where their wood comes from. At Endura, a certified supplier, Kendra Smith examines samples with wood broker Mike Barnes. He's helping Kendra and her husband build a completely certified home.
We chose certified wood in part to walk the talk. It's really critical that we get the word out. When people are having to make choices about their use of different materials, they will make a positive choice for more environmentally sensitive products.
That's the message David Ford and the Certified Forest Products Council use to convince business, community, and environmental groups to work together.
And really what we're trying to do is set a collaborative table where a variety of interests can come together and have discussions that we hope will lead towards solutions in the future.
It's a better tool for dealing with complexity than a conflict-based model. And in sustainable forest management and conservation, there's a lot of complexity. It's not black and white. There's no cookie-cutter approach. We can spend more money and time and energy fighting each other to probably come to a draw than it might take to actually solve some of these problems. We have a lot of responsibility on our shoulders here to do the right thing. What are we going to do? I think that's really the important question that needs to be asked right now.
Certified wood still represents only a small percentage of what's sold on the market, but demand is growing, and with it, renewed credibility for the forest products industry and increased interest in wood as a sustainable building material.
We've had the American Forest and Paper Association develop the Sustainable Forestry Initiative, and they've come a long way with that program, because I think there's a clear recognition in the forest products industry side that a true third-party independent certification scheme is going to be the standard of business at some point in the future.
The success that our council and forest certification has enjoyed over the last couple of years is a clear indication of things to come.
We're at the right place at the right time with the right message.